this is really happening. I want to smack Josephine in the head. You run into a wall when you're in the middle of a parking lot, but hey. You know, you've been watching the Sunlight turn pretty too much when the line reminds you of the Conrad pool scene. Hello and welcome to my very first video. If you're watching this, I'm assuming that you first found me through my Instagram. I post a lot of closed door book reviews and reading blogs, but I feel like there was a really big gap on YouTube with closed door book recommendations, and so I decided that I wanted to start making long form content on YouTube as well. So please bear with me as I figured this out. Usually my reading vlogs are like around a minute long, and trust me, I could yap for a lot longer than that. So I'm excited to be able to just sit and talk about books for a very long time. Now for me, fall starts on September 1st. I don't care what the calendar says. It's like 3 weeks behind. September 1st, it's fall. Gilmore Girls is on. I'm getting pumpkin spice. I'm wearing sweaters if the weather permits, but it is fall. So for me, I've been already reading a bunch of fall books. So that's what I wanted to do for this week, was to read fall books. And when I think about fall books, I think about like thrillers and fantasies, specifically romanticities. And that's what I'm hoping to read in this video. Okay, so the first book I'm going to be reading in this video is called A Murder in Paris. Now this book I really went into completely blind. I just knew what it said from the cover, that 2 women checked in, only 1 checked out. Now my question is, 2 women checked in and 1 checked out, how does she not know who killed the one if it's not her? Because I'm assuming you have to have some kind of plot twist. Maybe she has the classic amnesia trope. Technically I did read the synopsis for this book, but I completely forgot what it says. So I guess I have amnesia as well. So yeah, that's all I know. There's a murder in Paris. And for me, that's all I need. Okay, so I'm about 40 pages in now on like chapter 12. These are really short chapters and most of them have like a cliffhanger on the end, which I love. And I'm like half right, half wrong on the whole amnesia idea. Basically, our main character is a memory expert, which I know is the complete opposite of amnesia. There's no amnesia on her radar, but the plot thickens because then a police officer phones her from a very fancy old hotel in Paris saying that her grandmother is there and is claiming to have murdered someone. And it's like she forgot for decades, but the memory is finally resurfacing, is the working theory. I'm only 40 pages in. I obviously have no idea what's going on, except that she has to go to Paris to see if her grandmother is just an old woman with dementia and is confused and has not murdered someone, or maybe she was the person who murdered the woman in this room, which I highly doubt it, because what's the fun in that? Also, yes, I did dog-ear my pages. I do that sometimes. I know if that's graphic for you, I'm sorry, look away. But I didn't have a bookmark and it did me trying to rifle through figuring out where I was. I just need to find a bookmark. I have millions, but they're never where I need it to be. Yeah. Here is the source of that crunching sound you heard. They just mentioned Friends. You automatically get a point in my book. Now there's a hitman? What is going on? Okay, I think we have a potential love interest now. Is this also just the first, like, young man that's been in the book? Yes. But, like, when you know, you know. It just seems so obvious. I have no idea if there's even romance in this book. I just love romance and everything, so here's hoping that it is. I don't even know what this guy looks like yet, and I'm already saying he's the love interest. She also knew him 20 years ago. Second chance, maybe? Broken heart over him. Yep, this is the guy, for sure. Okay, this book is so much more than I thought it was gonna be. I truly thought it was gonna be kind of like a closed, no, what's called a locked door mystery, where we're in this hotel and trying to figure out, like, present day what happened to this woman. But apparently it happened 80 years ago, what we're trying to figure out. Relying on memories and what people are saying that happened 80 years ago. We're also getting, I just got to the point where we're going to, yes, I have reached the new low of using a leaf as a bookmark. I've just gotten to the part now where we're going to be doing different POV, and it's also a past and present timeline because now we're back in 1945. So I don't know how many POVs we're going to get, but I'm loving that we get so many different people. It's 1945 to do with the Holocaust and the Holocaust survivors. So that's a big part of the book that I really wasn't expecting. I don't even know if it is in the front. It's not even in the front, so going into this you wouldn't even know that. That's definitely a big part of the book. Something else that they're doing in this book is where they're like referencing something that's happened in the past, but they're not actually telling you what happened, which is kind of annoying. But also on the other hand, it does like add to the suspense. But yeah, it's not like in those TV shows or the movies where they'll conveniently drop the location or a specific scenario that's happened in a natural way just for the viewers to understand what's going on. But with this one, I'm gonna have to wait it out for sure. I might even have to wait it out all of these pages. I'm not really sure. So I'm now on chapter 42 and I'm 160 pages in. That just shows how small the chapters are. And if you know how amazing short chapters are. They make you just feel like you're reading it like lightning speed. It's amazing. So anyways, I'm continuing this. I made some coffee. It has pumpkin spice creamer in it. I'm watching Gilmore Girls and I'm reading my fall book. I'm having a great time. Yep, that's the stuff. I want to smack Josephine in the head. Oh.
Big city benefits New York has without actually having to live in New York. It just seemed like a no-brainer.
Here we are now, Gilmore Girls, with the triggering scene where Dean tells Rory he loves her. She doesn't immediately say it, and then he throws a tantrum like a 3-year-old. Oh boy. Yes, you are. Thank you. Literally words on paper, and I'm getting so mad. Okay, now she's making bread. No, just take all the time you need. Yesterday I finished the way I have to check and make sure I have the title right after I've just fully read the book and started it. I don't know how many times. Oh yeah, there she is. Okay, A Murder in Paris. I will be the first to admit that I am definitely very dramatic when I read, but if you knew what I was reading, you would be having... Okay, I'm gonna try and ignore her, but she's clawing me apart. Case in point, she's actually just clawing on my pants, not me. Anyways, if you knew what I was reading, you would be having a reaction too. This ending was crazy, and I cannot believe that nobody else talks about this book. I literally have seen no one talk about it, and it's so good. So there's essentially 3 timelines, different POVs. I have not read a thriller that I've given 5 stars to and loved as much as this one in a very long time. So yes, it is 5 stars. The first book that I've read in this video is already a 5-star. I have to, and I have not wanted to jump into a book out of pure hatred for a character in a very long time as well, like I felt for a certain somebody in here. Obviously I'll not name names, but yeah, you witnessed some of that when I was reading this book. So the main character in this book has like 36-hour days plus. She has to, because this book only took place I think over like 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and she packed in so much in her days that it was like a week for her is like a month for me. I don't know what she was on, but she knew how to get stuff done. Also at one point our main character is seeing a certain guy and she's like, who could this be? She literally says, could I have let a murderer in the house? First of all, if you think he's a murderer, maybe don't let him in your house. I don't know, maybe like just a thought. And then it's like, yeah, now I see why you're in a thriller novel, because of the decisions that you make. She wasn't the brightest, I guess I'll just say that. So there was a big part of like her being like a psychotherapist. I didn't even know what that was. Apparently you can use like hypnotizing to like do something to do with that. I have no idea. I didn't even realize that. There was like 2 mentions of it in the book. I usually don't like reading stuff like that, but it was absolutely fine. This book was fine. I'm just letting you know. next book we're reading, I have already started, is After the... You see, I have a problem with covers. After the Leaves Fell. So you will have seen the pumpkin coffee that I had gotten. I was so excited. You could see the happiness on my face when I tell you that was one of those grossest things I've ever gotten. Yeah. So I don't recommend that. Even though it looks like I do in the video, I regretted my purchase about immediately. I don't know if you can tell because the cover is black and white, but it is a fall book. It is romance. There's a little bit of like suspense in there. It's just exactly what I needed. I ended up buying it on Kindle and I started it yesterday in the car, so that's what you just saw. But yeah, I am loving it so much. So our female main character, she never wants to get attached. She has only been left in life, abandoned. She has had a rough life, so she does not want to let anybody in. She's very grumpy. It's like the reverse Grumpy Sunshine, technically. Hold on. Is it Miss Summers? I don't even know. I don't know. We also have dislike to lovers. I like that the author said that in her tropes instead of saying enemies to lovers, because they're not enemies, you know? So there's that. It's also brother's best friend, and basically she gets a call from her brother that her brother needs her. He has basically abandoned the family for I don't even know how many years, and now he is needing someone to pick him up because he has an injury, and he also has just gotten a cancer diagnosis. So if that is something you don't like to read about, this is definitely a big heavy section. So as she's going to the airport, she runs into the guy described as a wall. It's kind of funny how you think you've run into a wall when you're in the middle of a parking lot, but hey. Yeah, so she runs into our main male character. He is a famous hockey player. I love hockey player romances, so I love that. And then he thinks that she's a crazy fan, so he gets all mad at her, and she's like, what is your problem? Because she definitely can get mad easily as well. Brother ends up living with the best friend, so she has to go over there. They have to interact and whatnot. So just has the makings of a great book. You don't want to know how many books I have on my Kindle that I need to read, but I had to read this. When I wanted to read fall books for a week, I'm like, this is the perfect fall book. As you can tell by the cover. Obviously you can't tell by this cover, this looks depressing, but it's really good. And also the analogy of using After the Leaves Fell, I now understand more of why the title is that way. It's perfect. Yeah, so now I am almost 30% into this book. I am loving it so much. The writing is so amazing, and it's like, this is a debut novel. Like, you would not think that reading it. It's also gonna be a series, which makes me super excited because I need to read all of her books now. Our main character, another thing I really like is that he is Canadian. I am Canadian as well, and usually I feel like characters are not Canadian. I definitely feel like it is very exaggerated the way he uses a. I don't believe that we do. Certain people do. I don't think we fully do. But hey, maybe I do and I just don't know it. Another thing that I'm loving is there's so many little, just like 1 sentences, 2 sentences about fall. The main character, he made some special fall muffins. There was this one, it was hinting at fall, like the trees knew we needed to warm up to the change before they exploded with color, that we needed time to come to terms with losing it all. I was like that's the kind of stuff that was in this book. The writing is amazing. I do really enjoy watching hockey as well. So he gives her the nickname of OT, which her name is Oakley Tenon. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So obviously it's her initials, but he says also overtime. I think it's going to take me a little longer to get through to you that I'm a guy worth knowing, but an overtime win is always the sweetest. I just thought that was really cool to just throw in little hints to hockey throughout the book as well. I've been watching Gilmore Girls and reading it like all day. You know you've been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty too much when the line, "What will you do for me if I tell you?" reminds you of the Conrad Pool scene. Just gonna leave that there. Okay, I feel like my name keeps on coming up so much in media right now. In this book, I'm like this psychotic ex-girlfriend. It's really nice. Obviously just in Gilmore Girls, I'm Luke's certain somebody, and I was also somebody's dead wife. Those are the 3 I can remember. Not all good things. Okay, I've officially finished When the Leaves Fall. Still struggling with the title. I didn't think I would find another amazing read after I had just had a 5-star, but when I heard of this book, I knew that it had literally everything that I wanted in a book. I should have seen this coming, but I'm still surprised. It was amazing. I loved it. I would highly recommend it. If I'd only given one fall romance book, or even just one fall book recommendation in general, it would be this book. I don't need to read anything else. The romance was amazing. You have this, like I said, she's very grumpy, very closed off, but he continually pursues her every single time she says no to him, and they call each other the sun and the moon, which is like the perfect illustration of them. Hi. They went on ice skating, which I absolutely love in a book. It's just perfect when he's teaching her how to skate. Now, I would have never described myself as someone who got bored when the couple gets together, which it happened for me in this book, and it is nothing against the book. The book was like perfect. It was amazing. But once they got together, I was like, why am I not enjoying this book as much? I'm the problem with that. And also they got together, I can't even remember, but there was still like a good chunk of the book left, which you always know when there's a good chunk of the book left, you know that something bad is going to happen, which, you know, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I was like really unimpressed with myself that I was not enjoying it as much when they got together, but I guess I'm one of those people as well. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm one of them and I don't get it. Now, I highlighted so many different quotes and I had to stop myself from highlighting more, but one of my favorites was, "You will find someone who matches your worth, and that's when you'll be grateful you put in the work to be worth something." You know, they really taught each other how much each other is worth. There's literally one moment in here where she screams at him that she loves him. If you ever wanted a healthy version of this song, The Way I Loved You by Taylor Swift, this book is that song in a book. He even makes her a playlist and she adds to it with her songs. It's at the end of the book. It was just, I really do love music, so if you wanted to like listen to that while you read the book, it's just perfect. I love a book playlist. I could sit here and talk about so many things I loved about the book, which I kind of already just did, but obviously I loved it. I highly recommend it. I need the next book now. I think I know who the next book is going to be about, even though I've heard nothing about it, but I need it. I desperately need it more than I needed this book, because if you read it, you'll know what two characters I need to get together. And After the Leaves Fell is just the perfect title for this, because at the end of the book, she wraps it all up by basically saying the leaves all fell, they all died, but they're going to make a way for new growth to happen in the spring. With her, she felt like a part of her had died, but then he came along and something new was able to grow from that. How many other ways can I say that I'm obsessed with it? I could probably think of quite a few more, but I think I'm gonna try and stop it now. Okay, why aren't the animals a magnet to when I start filming? Excuse me. Okay, so I've read a thriller, I've read a cozy fall romance, and now I think I'm going to read The Day of the Dice. I've had this on my the cat once again. I've had this book on my TBR for a very long time. I ended up getting it for free on like one of the Stuff Your Kindle days, and I also ended up buying the physical copy, so I have both ways to read it, which is very, very nice. Also, yes, I have friend stickers all over my Kindle case. The reason why I thought this was good for a fall video was because it says it's a dystopian book, which to me is perfect for the fall. It's even a dystopian Pride and Prejudice, which I've never read the book, seen the movie or anything, which probably I should. What I know about it so far is that our main character is living in the community of the last 10 families on Earth. I'm just reading the back now. And they are then paired off on the day of the dice. Obviously Earth is destroyed. Also, the Hunger Games on the back here, and if you want me to read anything, just say it's Hunger Games mixed with something else and I will be there. So I'm really excited to start this one. I have my sheets in the dryer, so that's why I am just laying on my blanket right now. I'm not even a page in, and there's a family tree, which now I'm thinking this book is going to take a lot of brain power, and I'm not thinking my brain is fully functioning right now. Well, let's see how this goes. A Hunger Games song is already playing, so I'm taking this as a good sign. Okay, so I'm just now editing this, and I just realized that I was talking to the camera for at least like 2 minutes, and it was completely facing away from me the entire time. Actually, on page 172, I was just filming the lawn while I'm talking in the background. Yeah, it's really great. So how it is right now, you would have completely missed the whole ceremony of the Day of the Dice, which is literally what the book is called. So I thought I should try and explain a little bit. So basically, on the Day of the Dice, each girl is paired to each boy to become a couple and to continue on the legacy of these 10 families, because they want to make sure that everything is fair and that each family has the equal chance of continuing on. So the girls each stand on these crates that are numbered, and the boys roll a dice, and if they roll the number of the girl that they want, they get to keep the girl, and if they don't want that girl, then they can re-roll the dice. So yeah, the girl has absolutely no say whatsoever on who she gets to marry. So love that. That's so weird, but we're doing this for fairness, okay? It's equal for everyone. Like, what? No. I feel like I said more to the lawn, but that's all I can remember right now to say. One of the more wealthier people in the society starts liking her, and before in the past she'd heard him talking really poorly about her, so they do start out as quote enemies to lovers. I do agree though, this book does remind me of the Hunger Games in that, like, in this town there's like a square. This is where the Day of the Dice, I'm gonna call it a reaping, is where the ceremony, the casting ceremony happens, which really reminds me of reaping. And then she realizes that there has been other people this whole time and that this society has been lying to her. What happens then is the age that you have to be casted gets lowered, so then she has to be put into the system sooner, which is obviously a big problem. Okay, I have officially finished the Day of the Dice, and I really, really enjoyed it. It did not follow the traditional, plot structure of where, the couple gets together, then they break up over some end of the world thing, which never is actually really end of the world. But this one, I did not know how it was going to end, what was going to happen, and I really, really enjoyed it. I found a lot of comparisons between this and the Hunger Games, because I was looking for them. And there's a character in here called the General, which is basically the leader of this town, and he reminds me so much of President Snow. And they're both like saying, oh, let's do this and this for the good of everybody, but it's only for them. Because in this one, he's like, yeah, let's have our children and our daughters marry these guys that they have no interest in, and let's force them to have children. But this is all for the good of these people. And obviously in the Hunger Games, let's just send our kids off to this great arena for the good of everyone. Like, no. This is a problem though, because I need to read the next one in this series and I don't have it. So I'm trying to find some self-control to not immediately just go buy this book. Something that was also kind of funny is that there's a family, like there's 10 families in this book, and one of them is like the Swift family, so they call them the Swifts, and it just kept on reminding me of like if Taylor Swift had a family and they were called the Swifts. So overall, I highly recommend this book if you love dystopian, you love romance, and you love something that's different than the everyday book that you read. I would highly recommend this one. Okay, so that is all of the books that I'm going to read in my fall reading video. I had the best time. Is this even the right way? Yes, it is. I had the best time reading these. We had, let me do this in the right order. We had A Murder in Paris, which was a thriller. Then we had After the Leaves Fell. I always want to call it After the Leaves Fall. That is a common theme throughout this whole video. After the Leaves Fell, which is a romance, and The Day of the Dice, which was a dystopian romance. I'm really glad that I picked all of these books because they were perfect for the fall season. I don't really like to give like star ratings anymore, because I find that I was just like focusing more on the star rating than actually how much I enjoyed the book. But I would have to say the one I would recommend the most would definitely have to be After the Leaves Fell. It was amazing. And yes, all these books were completely closed door, which is something that I love when I find in a book. So if you guys have any great closed door book recommendations for fall or for any season, please let me know. I'm always looking for new books to read, even though I should stop because my TBR is almost unmanageable at this point. But that's a different topic for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos, then please subscribe and I guess like the video is what I'm supposed to say. Bye. Can't.